Hello, this is Tammy Pie. Um, I am bringing you today a review of the Tarot of the Sephiroth along with the guide. This is a very rare out of print deck, but at one time it was mass market. So they're out there. You can find them. All you have to do is want to. Now, I just went and looked up where you could find this, and the first couple listings I saw were pretty freaky, like 1,000 something and 300 something. But there are also people out there who want to trade. I got this deck 6 or 7 years ago in a trade, and there are people out there who are selling lots of tarot, in other words, several pieces that they're trying to unload. There are people out there who want to try new decks, who who might trade with you for something you have that they find particularly valuable. Either way, I would like to see this type of review more often, so what better way to do that than do it myself? So this is the tuck box that it comes in, and I've had it for a while, so it's not in terrible shape. I do kind of baby this particular one because I like to keep it in the tuck box. I don't know why, it just is. There are two kind of title cards. The little white book, which is pretty informative. It says it was copyrighted in 1999, but I mean, who knows? That's a bunch of printings, right? So we got your Tree of Life. This points out the Sephiroth colors. I think in the front there's one that just, or maybe in the back there's one that just has. Anyway, notes from the author, and then kind of the small amount that you get in a little white book, because that's what it is, a little white book. Okay? The size of the cards is a little wider and a little shorter than your standard US Games Rider-Waite-Smith. $19.99 US Games. Okay, so it really is a good idea to have the book, because the book explains what this deck is meant to do. I'm going to go ahead and go through some of the cards first. Let's do the major arcana. And then we'll go through the number cards in a little bit. So, Fool, Magician, High Priestess, Empress, Emperor, and I like to see the Emperor and Empress together. Looks pretty cool. Hierophant, the Lovers, the Chariot. So we're not seeing the astrological and Deccan symbols or any of that right out front. However, if you look in the artwork, you're going to find things like the Hebrew letter, and of course the artwork similarly to Terror of the Holy Light, maybe. Strength. The Hermit. Wheel of Fortune. Justice. Looks like Athena. The Hanged Man. And this is interesting. I heard somebody talking about this the other day, how the hangman has a connection to water. And here he is actually underwater. Death. Temperance. The gold and the silver chalice. The devil. Oh, should we look at the devil with the lovers? Let's do it. It's another thing we like to see, right? Okay. The Tower. And then I'm gonna lay the star, the moon, and the sun out. Star, moon, and sun. So the kind of the luminaries of the major arcana. I do appreciate this star and her reflection. And these cool little figures in the sun. Look at the pyramid here. Okay. Judgment and the universe. So this deck follows the color correspondences that people love so much. Just kidding. All right, so let's look at the guide for a second. And why would you seek out this really hard to find, not very big? I mean, these books aren't very big because I guess when they came out, they didn't want them to be big. I don't know. I don't know why they're not very big. But here we have the Tree of Life laid out with the majors in the pathways, and it shows where the queens, kings, princes, and princesses go. The rest of this is ace, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, right? So, a little bit about the Kabbalah. And if I'm honest, this is where I learned about the Kabbalah. I started out with Thoth, but I didn't even think about Kabbalah until I saw this deck. Would have been great if this had been in color. But this talks about the different spheres in the Tree of Life and why. The 3 pillars. Okay, so the minor arcana. We have Yod He Vav He. Wands, cups, swords, and discs. And they're going to show how in the small cards, the color science extends to the majors, and that links them in a way. So in wands, it's fiery, in cups, it's watery, in swords, it's airy, in discs, it's earthy. And then it lays out the number cards. Okay, so I'm going to go through the minors in groups. So let's look at the aces. And the reason I wanted to do it this way is because when you see them this way, you see very clearly that the aces all have a white circle around them. Okay? This is important. White is all colors, isn't it? So if you're looking at the seed of the suit, white makes absolute sense. But it is also the color of Kether. Okay? Here are your twos. All with gray circles, right? Love that Two of Cups. Yes. Threes, wands, cups, swords, for you who are not fans of the three swords stuck in the heart, Merry Christmas. There's our threes. Look at that, 3 of discs. How yummy is that? So these are the black Sephiroth. Fours, and these are all blue. I love these minors, the minor arcana in this deck, because it's so alive. The artwork just kind of bounces around. It moves your eye. It's very very electric, very alive. So here we have our fours. And that's Chesed, right? Sephiroth 4, which is blue. I'm going to run into some trouble. I used to hate this 5 of discs, but now I kind of love it. So they're all red. For Gebura, right? Then we get to 6, which is Tiferet, I think. And it's the beautiful Sephiroth, the gold and yellow. All right. Tiferet, yep. And this is also it's going to drive some people crazy, but this is where I'm going to go ahead and show you in the quartz. You also have your princes. And the princes all together make that circle, that yellow circle of Sephiroth. This is where the princes live. Okay? These courts are really very, right there he doesn't look it, but they're very alive seeming. They seem to be moving with their suit. Here is the sevens. So we just switched out of the decan connected with the seven of discs, the third decan of Taurus, and this really has that feeling of waiting, that kind of pause, or even being disappointed with the grapevine, right? There is. I'm trying to remember. Okay, so the kings are the gray. I'll just show them later. All right. So here's the eights, wands, cups, swords, and discs. The nines. Oops. So if you're a Thoth reader, you'll see the cards more as Thoth cards. But Nine of Swords, right? Nine of Discs. Nine of Cups. Nine of Wands. That looks pretty steadfast. Okay. And then we get to the tens. Now the tens this is the Sephiroth of Earth. This is where all this knowledge becomes useful on Earth. So what we have is 4 blended colors. So this charcoal color is black blended with something else. This is a green color that's a blended. So in Earth, we have a blend of colors. Okay? And then here are the princesses. So there are your blended tertiary colors, right? Because the princesses go in the Earth, Sephiroth. Here are the queens. I think they're in Binah, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, the queens are in Binah, which is the 3s. They were black circles. How sassy is that Queen of Cups? Don't you just love her? I do. Okay. And then finally the kings, which are in the gray Sephiroth, the twos, I believe. Yep, Chokmah. Oops. Kudos to all you people who do top-down videos all the time. I mean, I know you got to set up and everything, but I had to DIY this, and it is not easy. Okay, I'm going to stop here because I want to talk about a few other things. Okay, so we're going to move back to the major arcana for a second. I've set these out so that they are kind of a funky tree of life, okay? And it's not exact, but it's gonna have to do for the half-ass video's sake, all right? So now the major arcana are pathways between the Sephiroth. So we have the Fool, which goes from Kether to Chokmah, right? So he's the white circle to the gray circle. Note the gray circle there. Okay? And then we have the Magician, which is between Kether and Binah. So note the white circle also, right there. Then we have the High Priestess, where does she go? She is from Kether down. So she's got the white circle up above and the yellow circle at her feet. This is Tiferet. The Empress is black to gray. So Binah to Chokmah. So she goes right in between there, right? From the threes to the twos. The Emperor is going to be our first diagonal, and it's going to go from Chokmah to Tiferet. So see the gray circle, yellow circle. Here's the Hierophant. He's going to go from the gray circle to the blue circle. Okay? Hierophant, where are you? So right here, where you have your twos and your fours, that's your Hierophant. Gray circle, standing on the blue circle. And then your Lovers, again, diagonal, is going to go from the black to the yellow. Black circle, yellow circle. We've got the Chariot is going to go from, I think, from the black to the red. Black to the red. We've got Strength, which is going to go between Gabor and Chesed. So that is red to blue. We've got, oops, am I out of, I'm not, okay. We've got the Hermit, which is going to go from yellow to blue diagonally. Yellow, yellow, blue, blue. And we've got the wheel, which goes from blue to green. So that's right there. You can see your blue circle in the back here and your green circle. We've got justice, which is diagonal, goes from red to yellow, red to yellow. Zzz. We've got the hangman. He goes from red to orange. So red to orange. Death, which goes from yellow to green. So there's Tiferet, yellow, green. Stick. Temperance is going from yellow to purple. So at this point we've got Tiferet totally covered. And the devil, what do I see? Yellow to orange. So this is a diagonal again. So Tiferet to Hod. Do we have any space left? We don't. Suffice to say, it goes through the whole major arcana that way. I'll just show you briefly. Orange to green is the tower. Purple to green is the star. Green to olive, which is the earth, Sephiroth, and the moon, that makes sense. Orange to purple. Orange to olive. And finally, in the universe, we go from purple to olive, from Yesod to Malkuth, where the princesses live. Okay? So, this cardstock is pretty slippery. It fans out really well, shuffles really well. Old-fashioned, just cardy cardstock. There's no gilding, there's no heaviness to it. It's just cards, right? Good old-fashioned cards. The print quality is really good. This was a good time for printing. In the back of the guidebook, there is a section with spreads. They give you, I think, 7 spreads. Yeah, from small to big. Tree of Life, windows, energy form direction. Will he, she, they call. And it's kind of old-fashioned in that it tells you exactly what to do, So, and the deck reads beautifully. I don't find myself when I'm trying to do a reading with this, it reads for any kind of question. Let's Temperance, the Devil, and the Seven of Wands. So there's not too bad a shine on it. It's just, very cardy cardstock. And we've got Temperance, which is balance or creation. The Devil, which is frustration or incorrect ways of living, or partying too much, or the things you want to have that you can't have, like really expensive tarot cards. And then you have the Seven of Wands, which is kind of defending your position, possibly, or a show of strength. Okay? So that is my review of the Tarot of the Sephiroth. I hit on things that I care about, and hopefully this was a useful video for people who are looking for this kind of weird, kind of beautiful, really out of print, great, fun, enjoyable tarot deck. And thanks for coming.